know how crazy that is for a second, too, that a sitting president, the media released with no proof at all that there was a tape of him getting peed on by, like, Russian hookers in Russia.
Oh my
no
God,
proof
dude.
at all, dude. It's a sitting president.
Dude, I just imagine the actual...
crazy.
Imagine there is, like, actually audio of that, and you just hear, like, Russian babes, like, no, she's... Maybe you denied it, or whatever, and then you just hear, like...
Trump's like, get it in my hair.
And then you just hear, like, the stream.
Oh, tremendous.
You just hear the, like... And then more fucking Russian. He's like, oh, jeez, you know, just fucking...
She's like, strong pneumonia smell, strong pneumonia.
Yeah. And then he's like, Tatiana, that was great, but next time don't drink any water before you come in.
Yeah. He's like, so diluted.
It's fine, but it could have been a lot better. Go for it, Roman. Let's do it. All right.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Let's do it. You ready, John boy? All right. Okay. All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Entitled Millennials podcast. This is episode number 25. Appreciate you guys being here with us today. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like, bang the bell, share us out to your friends, get as many people as you can to come join the tribe. We're growing a little bit more every day. Like I said, 5 subscribers a day. And you know what's interesting is, as you guys know, I met a lot of you in all these different leftist channels. And so many of our subscribers were built for me just like going full fucking predator in the comment section, like come and join our channel. And now, honestly, we're still getting about 5 a day just from like our social media presence and people stumbling across the channel. So I think that's a good marker and a sign of, or you know, like a premonition of like what's it going to be like when we hit 1,000 and it starts snowballing a little bit. So thanks for all the support, guys. We're always glad to have you here with us every week. If you want to further support the podcast, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. There you can find all my written work, including poetry, flash fiction, full-length short stories. You know the rigmarole. If you go on there, there's a lot of free stuff. And like I said, you can subscribe for as little as $3 a day, and that would mean the world to us. If we get to a $200 mark, we'll start doing either, maybe I'll rope Johnny into this, but in the end, I might just do a solo podcast where you guys can engage, the patrons can engage, and we'll just talk about a bunch of different stuff. To further support the podcast, check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas at janeaustenteas.com. There you can find high-end teas handpicked and mixed by the lovely Miss Julia. Or visit Julia in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208, to satisfy that deep tea addiction and to be taken on a tea tour of the world. All right, guys, let's roll into it. We got Roman Gonzalez here again today.
What it do?
Good to have you with us again, man. Connor, we had Connor White do it last week.
Yeah, what the heck, traitor?
Dude, hey, you took a personal day. We had the show has to go on. And he did all right, but you're a little bit better at it. And and he had like a 5 or 10 minute moment where he just like zoned out into space. And I had to like...
To the point you had to correct him.
Yeah, and I had to like call him out and be like, oh, no. Connor, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, you called me out, man.
Back to Earth.
I'm like, well, you're not doing your fucking job. So yeah, we're glad to have you with us again. We got John Boy Wild here as per usual, my co-host. I'm not sure how long this one will go today. We're a little unprepared. Sorry guys if I haven't been putting out the clips and solo videos as much this week. I'm kind of dealing with a knee injury right now. I don't know what's wrong with it, but it's just like been a major pain in the ass. And
yeah, dude, I came home and you were just laying on the floor crying.
No, it wasn't
Let
that.
me go grab my violin real quick.
Yeah, dude, no, fuck you guys.
No, it's like I can't do it.
Dude, for real though, I was at work though, man, and it's been bothering me for a while, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was at work and like, at some point I went to the bathroom and like, you know, took a shit or whatever, and I pulled my pants down, you know, and my knee was like swollen, dude. Like bad, like it almost had like a tint, you know, like when it's bruised, like yellowish green. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, okay, I gotta go home. This isn't good. So I don't know what's going on with that, guys. Hopefully I get that figured out and start producing content a little more regularly for you. So the first thing I want to talk about today is I can't believe that they showed Michael Bloomberg getting gangbanged on national television. Like, that was just... I didn't end up watching the debate, but...
I feel like he made a mistake doing the debates. I think he could have done better not doing the debates and then just running the ads like he's doing and buying endorsements like he's doing and just see how...
Yeah.
Because... he obviously didn't have a solid plan for how he was going to handle it because...
yeah, what the fuck? After all...
I think his goal was to just kind of be a dick. Like, his goal was to act like Trump, but you can't just act like that. Like, Trump is able to do what he does because that's who he is.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of hard to watch. I listened to it at work. Like, I'm going to have to rewatch it because I didn't give it my full 100% intent.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It was...
well,
Warren literally opened up with attacking Bloomberg. It was pretty good.
Oh, really?
She's like
first right out of the bat?
She's like, we're running against a sexist, a man who's called woman, like, horse face, like, all this stuff. And she's like, and I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, man, I just can't believe it went so south. I mean, to be honest, I kind of figured... all these other Democratic candidates to like kind of fall in line a little bit, like not prop them up because they still want to win or shit, but I just kind of expected them to like turn a blind eye to all of this obviously
they
Republican
all see him
bullshit.
as a threat. Honestly, it's working exactly like he is. Like, he sent out a memo before the debate saying they need to drop out because the establishment vote's going to get divided and it's going to let Bernie win. I do think there's truth to that. Like, if you look, like, if they were all just one candidate, Bernie would probably be losing.
Yeah, have you seen that meme where it's like Bernie Sanders at the podium? It's like a cartoon, and then next to it, it's like a malformed like
no, I haven't
monster, like literally like a
of all the candidates,
like fused together in like
That's
this
hilarious.
fleshy like H.P. Lovecraftian monster, and it's called the centrist blob.
Yeah,
and it is funny just because like they literally. You know, we talked about this last episode where they put out a thing like, well, if you look, you know, Klobuchar and Biden, or Buttigieg or whatever, if you put them together, they're beating.
Well, and I think what's uninformed about that mindset is it's not like all the people voting for these people are centrist ideology. Mm-hmm. They're just dumb people who are easily manipulated and vote for candidates for stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Like, if Bloomberg has won you over because of some ads... yeah, you're a fucking idiot, dude. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, you're a dumb person.
If you get won over by ads, especially from somebody like Michael Bloomberg, one has to question.
At least it makes sense if you're a small town mayor and he bribed you in some way.
Sure, yeah.
That makes sense. But if you're really voting based off ads,
yeah,
you weren't going to go to Bernie anyways, so...
yeah, one has to wonder if you're willing to...
even though Bernie has the best ads ever, so you would think...
oh, dude, his ads
I
are
just
like...
don't get it.
Yeah, dude. His ads are like dank memes, bro. Like that one that you just showed me was so badass.
They're the best political ads in like
American history. Because dude, there's truth and like passion behind them. It's not just like someone doing their graphic design.
Well, look at his fan made ads.
Yeah,
they're good. Like, you don't see Amy Klobuchar getting like random people making these epic ads.
Oh fuck no, dude. Yeah, well, dude, that's the thing too. It's like somebody. Okay, so like I've learned just from doing the video editing for the podcast, like doing video editing for the podcast takes like 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And that's just clip, stitch, and like throw a couple titles in and music. It still takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
These fucking ads, dude, just the time that it takes, the fan-made ones, to dig up the footage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
is like. That's like weeks of work.
Like, I don't even know how you can dig up some of this footage. Can you go to C-SPAN's website and just look up historical stuff?
Yes, and I mean, one of the things I've learned from doing a little bit of pirating of content that we've put on the Instagram and stuff is like there's converters, so like they could go and find things of Bernie Sanders off of like YouTube or whatever, and then upload it to their computer and then take clips out of that. You know what I mean? But yeah, just the sheer amount of time. Someone like a regular everyday Joe, and if they have that much talent, they probably are doing something where they make a good living and do graphic design. But they're taking so many hours out of their day to do this for whatever reason other than they
Also,
believe in it.
There's people who will have like news clips
Yeah.
in their ads that they make, or just like whatever. How do you go find these like news clips from 2 days ago? Like you must have to be recording them all the time, or
Oh yeah, I guess I never thought of that.
because you can't go to msnbc.com and look up. Pretty sure you can't.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine they probably use something like we do
Mini
here.
rant here. MSNBC is their website is such trash.
Why do you say
their
that?
video player fucking sucks.
Oh yeah.
You would think Comcast. It's like it's intentionally shitty, dude. I just have to go on that little rant. Like, I don't. It just sucks, dude.
It's like
they're
a
$1 billion corporation.
yeah.
And you can't. I don't know. I just terrible fucking.
And I've seen it, and it's like a website from like 2006. It feels like, you know what I mean?
It's fucking clunky. It's terrible. Fuck you, MSNBC. It's another shitty thing.
Yeah, dude. Do you ever? That's the thing. We always kind of harken back and wish for the, Wild West days of the internet, and I wish it was like unregulated and just freelance like that. But I'm so glad we don't have to. And I'm not even talking about like dial up and the connection. I'm talking like how shitty all the websites
When
were.
did people become dicks on the internet? It seems like it used to be people were like happy and excited about it.
Oh, yeah,
and then
man.
one day it just turned into this. Like it used to be like 4chan. That's where all the toxic shit. Like that's where it was really.
Well,
bad.
just like a cancer,
And now it's like
spread.
all over.
Dude, it was never like that on the internet, man. It might be like that in like.
Maybe we just didn't notice because we were younger, but I feel like we would have noticed it more.
Well, here's the thing. Dude, I'll tell you what it was. Is the early days of the internet, and a lot of people used AOL and MSN and, whatever, messengers.
Yeah.
But in the early days of the internet, it was mostly nerdy people like you and me. So, RuneScape and all these games, it was nerdy people that like, and on forums, nerdy people that had no lives and like no romantic shit, and they were all just sad, would come to the internet and they're like, wow, I can make friends now. And so everybody was just super nice and like understanding. And then regular everyday Chads made their way. And I know I look like a Chad, but in my heart, I'm not. Okay. Yeah, but then like everybody else made it into the internet, and then like this culture started to take root where everyone just started. Dude, people are so. I have the Twitter now, and like, oh my god, dude, people are just mean. Like,
Yeah,
it's like when they comment, it's never anything good. It's just mean. It's like this thing. Like, if you're on Twitter, you gotta be fucking mean. I don't understand it, and like I've heard.
Well, it's really the same with Facebook. Like that's why I'm more of a lurker on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Like once in a while I'll comment on shit, but it's
dude,
just,
it's like fundamentally worse on Twitter.
dude.
Though.
And I'm always like, I always think I take the high road and don't get in fights, but then I'll be like 3 hours and do an argument with someone, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? And dude, I know you just had a situation.
I know. Yeah. Here's the thing. I am really good about being above that. Mm-hmm. And honestly, this is a message to all of our listeners too. Is dude, it's just not worth it. And that doesn't mean like don't come and like do your piece. What I do, I'm usually pretty good about this, is I go in and if I see something and I feel compelled to say something, I will say my thing.
Yeah.
And then maybe do one rebuttal and then I'm done.
Yep.
Because
you know what I like to do to people?
What's up?
Laugh, react to their stupid comments.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I take
ultimate.
deep enjoyment. It's just laugh, reacting to
Yeah.
people's shit and then not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do the teary face too sometimes. Like, but yeah, God, dude, I got roped into an argument with an Elizabeth Warren supporter, and I'm just like, I just wanted to shoot myself in the I was like, I spent 2 hours like throughout the, and I'm like, wow, that's 2 hours that I could have been working on shit that's actually important to me.
Yeah.
And it just pissed me off, man. And I got so sick of that. And anybody that listens to the show, and I encourage you, like, unplug once in a while, dude.
What happens with those arguments is like you keep thinking this next response that you have is
It's gonna
gold.
get 'em.
They're done, and then they say something else stupid, and you're like, holy shit. And then you want to go off, and then it's just hours later, like,
Yeah, but at the same
up.
time, I've spent several hours in a day having like good conversations.
Yeah.
And I come out of those feeling like, okay, I didn't win them over, but I understand their perspective more now, for one, and two, now they don't look at our side like completely. They have a little more respect for our side of things.
Yeah.
And that's important, I think. But
I guess depends who you're talking to.
Well, that's what I mean. The people that you're talking to where you can actually have a discourse with them, it's worth it in the end. You know, compared to some people.
Who do you hate talking to more? The diehard Trump, like, right-wing fanatics who just, like, repeat the same shit, or establishment Democratic voters? It's got to be establishment Democratic voters for me.
Yeah.
Just because they're supposedly on our side, but they're the dumbest fucking people in this country.
Oh, yeah.
These Trump supporters, they hate the establishment of both parties usually. They fucking think it's terrible. They don't trust the media. But you fucking establishment Democrat supporters are the worst people. I don't know.
Yeah, they are. No, I would agree with you because, like, with the Trump people, they are just completely... Not all of them, right? There's some that you could win over, right?
Yeah.
But they're just so far gone to the point where it's like you just instantly, when they start spewing dumb shit at you, you're just done immediately.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
The thing that's so irritating about moderates and establishment Democratic people is like they have enough sense to know right from wrong.
Uh-huh.
Like the Trump people just don't give a fuck about other human beings, and it's just like
yeah.
But the people that are supposed to be on our side, like they know, they care about people of color, they care about immigration, they care about healthcare. Like, they care about shit. Mm-hmm. But somehow they just can't admit, like, how bad shit is.
Somehow they side with the establishment in every way.
Yeah. It's wild, dude. And then it's like, and it's just so frustrating because it's like, dude, you've just bought into the bullshit, man. It's like, dude, meanwhile, we're here with the real message. They repeat,
like, CNN or MSNBC talking points. Like, they'll literally repeat what they hear.
Yeah, it's fucking disturbing, dude. But yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of a good segue into some more Bloomberg shit. I know we kind of went off on a tangent there, but like the fact that he garnered support fast, dude.
I know.
What the fuck, right? And we were already kind of talking about like
he said something in the debate last night, like, yeah, I just got in this race. Some of you have been running for years.
Oh yeah.
And it's like he's full of shit though, like, because I was listening to an interview.
Oh, was he kind of throwing shade at Bernie with that?
And yeah, and others, but even Pete got all defensive. He's like, yeah, we're engaging voters. I'm like, well, you're not wrong. Like, you're actually trying.
Yeah.
But fucking Bloomberg's been setting this up for like 10 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he's been getting
behind
the infrastructure
scenes
ready.
Yeah.
He's been doing things like donations and stuff. Yeah. Another thing I didn't know about Bloomberg is he donated a lot of money in the 2018 to Democrats.
Did he?
To help congressional races.
What do you think?
Donated a lot to Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, so what do you think the significance of that is?
He's gonna have fucking people on his side because he helped get him elected.
Okay, because like for a minute I thought you were gonna try to tell me like maybe he's not all bad, and then I'm like, I don't know why I would have thought that.
Fuck. It's just a game to set up endorsements and.
That was a good move on his part because.
Well, I mean, he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I was joking with my brother right before this podcast on Facebook, like in Messenger. I wonder if Bloomberg got off that stage last night and was like, God damn, I hit that out of the park. My brother made a point, like, I guarantee it was more like, well, that wasn't good.
Yeah, I don't think he really cares either.
But he's got to know, though, that, like, damn, because you could tell his goal was to go into the debate and kind of be the wise guy dick.
Yeah.
But it just didn't really work because right away, I don't think, like you said, I don't think he expected the like more neoliberal establishment Democrats to go after him. Well, I think he more expected a one-on-one heated exchange with Bernie.
And maybe Warren, but
everyone was against him, so I think he was like, fuck.
Well, and you know what? I was thinking about this a little bit last night, and I mean, dude, they beat him down, bro. It was like it was like somebody came up behind him and held him, and then they all just like started beating. Worse
than Trump. Like everything, like people talk shit about Trump that they don't like him about. Bloomberg's like worse.
Well, and what I was gonna say is like it's like I was saying, it's so surprising that he garnered support, and it kind of disconcerting because you're like, oh my god, every day you're like, we're dumb, but then like and it just gets worse, and you're like, oh no, how much stupider can we be? And like nothing surprises you anymore, right? But I just think it's crazy that he garnered so much support so fast because, like, dude, he's like you said, he's just like Donald Trump. He was a Republican, like what, in 2008?
Well, and what's he doing that Tom Steyer did wrong? Because Tom Steyer blanketed airways with ads, and it like backfired.
That's a good question.
Everyone was like, "Fuck you, Tom Steyer." And I will say this, like, I do think people care about climate change.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's something you should make your entire focus, like Steyer kind of has. Because I think people are kind of like, like, we got to deal with more important shit in our direct lives than the climate change.
Yeah, and that's incredibly sad, though.
And there is a lot of distrust if climate change is even real in a lot of people, dude.
Even amongst Democrats, dude.
Because they've pushed that propaganda out. And people are very distrustful of, like, the whole Greta Thunburg thing, right? Like, she's kind of being paraded around by the corporate media and some of the elites.
Yeah.
That makes people inherently distrustful of all this shit, because it's like, you're the ones causing all these problems, and now you're telling us. And and like, I will say, like, the leader of France, what's his name? Macron? His climate change solution is, like, taxing the people more on, like, carbon.
Yeah.
That's not how the problem. The problem is, like, major corporations doing shit.
Yeah, man.
That's what people are fed up of shit, acting like, I don't know.
And the thing with Thunberg is, like, the reason why I think the corporate media is parading her around is because it's their way of saying, look, it's like a propaganda machine. They're like, look, we are listening. And, like, I think Thunberg is great. Like, I admire.
I think she herself is passionate about.
But the reason why they're doing it is because, like, look, one, we are listening to the young people, and two, like, yeah, we're taking this seriously. But meanwhile, you know, people like Macron, it's just the same old business as usual, but with a pretty sticker over it.
Yep.
And I feel bad for her because they've unwittingly made her like a spokesperson that's gonna like levy.
The thing is, if you actually listen to what she says, like, she's calling them out on that type of bullshit a lot.
Yeah.
But, like, people just, I don't know. And then the right wing just blankets their airwaves with, like, bashing her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other reason why I think Bloomberg has taken off as well as he does, one, obviously that fucking dark money machine of memeing. He like bought up all that, and he did a good job in such a short period of time. And also it's just the personality difference. We're Americans, and we like there's a reason why Donald Trump got elected. You don't even necessarily have to be a dick, but we like the fucking, like, kind of in your face, like, you know, fucking shit-eating grin
he's
attitude.
Got so many
Steyer just seems like such a nice guy that you're like,
yeah,
you know. But yeah, dude, Bloomberg built a machine, like you said, he did it over time, but he built a machine.
Well, he's got so many organizers,
quickly.
And he's paying them like a lot of money.
Is he?
Yeah, like way more than other campaigns.
Yeah, well, he's got it, and all the money that he's. It's just wild to me that, like, you know, going back to what we kind of started to talk about, he spent what, like $350 million.
Well, dude, he's buying influencers on, like, Instagram and Twitter too.
Yeah, to, like, spread the message and shit more.
And he just hired, like, all the top meme creators.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking crazy.
But what's wild to me is, like, he spent all this money and did all this shit and really built a solid base, like, out of nothing in a very short period of time. Why the fuck, like, weren't you prepared for the debates? Yeah. You know what I mean?
And can I spread my conspiracy theory about what he's going to do with the memes too?
Sure.
So you would think he's going to hire a bunch of meme creators to make memes for him, right? Like,
to make him look good.
Make him look good. But I think the smart thing to do, and you know how he's setting the narrative that the Bernie supporters are toxic, infiltrate Bernie groups on social media, and then make memes that seem pro-Bernie, but they're toxic and are like the one with the gun. Like,
almost like advocating for violence. But
yeah, or like he's a communist. Like, yeah. Like, just subtle things that are going to piss off boomers and piss off some of the voting base that are going to be like, ugh, I don't like the toxic shit.
You know?
That's what I would do if I was smart.
The thing, I think you're probably right. I could see that, but at the same time, that shit's already out there just from, like, actual Bernie supporters.
He'll only do that and not make positive ones for himself. Do it all.
Yeah. Dude, what's really crazy about the Bernie Sanders movement is we have people across the spectrum of the left. Like, we have a lot of centrists. Like, people that if Bernie wasn't running, they'd happily vote for Joe Biden or whatever. Yeah. We have people that are supporting Bernie that are still pretty much plugged in, right? But Bernie's message just seems stronger to them, and they are smart enough to see his legacy and be like, okay. And then we've got, I guess the next step would be people that are a little bit progressive. And then people like us, where I'd say that we're actual leftists. You know, I'm a little more left even than you are. And then you can go even farther down to, like, we have people that are outright communists or socio-anarchists that are in support of Bernie. And, like, you know, say what you want about their ideas, but that's, like, incredibly powerful that those people are on our side. Like, that's an actual coalition.
Republican voters, too. That's never talked about. Like, he does get some
that too. Yeah, so it's just this whole gamut, man.
Bernie's dynamic is... And it's very rare for a politician to get this dynamic, I think. But it's like, even if someone disagrees with you, at least they know what they're getting with you. So that's why they support you.
Yeah, 100%. And I felt that way. And we've talked about this before, but we felt that way about Republican people, you know. I wouldn't even, I mean, maybe Gary Johnson or whatever. I didn't
hate him by any means, but I don't think.
But, like, if he would have gotten into office, I would have been like, well,
yeah,
you know, like, all right.
I think he'd be an actual person in
Ron
office.
Paul, obviously, we've talked about that. Ross Perot, because I didn't necessarily agree with everything. Because wasn't Ross Perot actually, did he run as a Democrat, but wasn't he, like, conservative on...
He ran as a Republican.
Did he? I couldn't remember.
Wait. No, he ran as an independent. He ran as an independent.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then he ended up...
He's one of the reasons why they upped the threshold.
But I liked him, even though he was, like...
Yeah.
Do you see how he gave
Bernie Sanders a sword?
Yeah, that's so badass. Did you read the plaque that it said on it? It was like okay, it was funny because...
got a bunch of vets healthcare or something.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw the picture where it was like, if you ever need another reason to vote for Bernie Sanders, he's got a sword in his fucking office. That's awesome. And then later, like the same day, I saw the plaque of it, and it's something about, like, helping veterans of Desert Storm and this and that. And I was just like, damn, like, who the fuck else? And he's got a picture of Eugene Debs in there. That's so awesome.
And this is a little off topic, but I want to go into one.
We're just going all over the place today.
This is going to be an off topic podcast. While this is on my mind, I want to say it. Another conspiracy that might happen in Nevada, why we could lose Nevada, is there's a dark money group that's in Nevada right now trying to get Republican voters to go and caucus as Democrats against Bernie.
Yeah.
So, like, for Biden or for someone else. And that's what I would do. And I'm pretty sure on this, I could be wrong, it was either Nevada or South Carolina. I think it was Nevada that just completely canceled their Republican primary.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Dude,
that could definitely fuck with shit.
Okay. So, two things here. We talked about that jokingly in 2016.
Well, I've been talking about,
you know,
that's
what I
would do. It's the smartest fucking move.
But when we talked about it, like, years ago, we were kind of like, ha ha ha, a little bit about it. Wouldn't that be a great idea? So this dark money group, like, and I'm not, like, trying to call you out or nothing, but, like, where did you get this information? Is it just, like, whispering? Like you said, it is kind of conspiratorial.
I've read links, and like, the guy behind it is just connected to a bunch of shit. I don't know.
But this is, like, an actual thing going on?
Yeah.
It's not just,
who knows
like,
how the dark money's
clickbait?
working? It's probably, like, you'd have to probably go door to door of Trump supporters and just... Because you have to get them to realize that Bernie is the threat in the first place. I think a lot of these people would want Bernie as the nominee because they naively think he's the easier one to beat.
Yeah.
So you have to educate them that, first off, he isn't the easy one to beat and he could possibly beat Trump. So you'd have to do all this different shit to get them to be like, yeah, we'll go caucus against Bernie. So I could see some of them wanting to caucus for Bernie, thinking he's the threat. He's not the threat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a complicated mind dynamic.
So that's the only thing about...
But if you have a shit ton of money to go door to door...
Yeah. So, yeah, that is a little bit concerning because it's like, you know, if this is done correctly and mobilized on a big effort, it could really...
Well, you only need what percentage of Republicans to go to fuck up everything. Even if it doesn't screw Bernie out of the win, bring it close enough that he barely wins. It's still...
Yeah, it's still detrimental.
You're going to hate me. I'm going to leave you hanging while I go pee quick.
It's still detrimental to the movement, but it's like... I don't know. I don't really see it being as big of a thing as kind of that Johnny's like trying to make it out to be. I'll just talk to Roman since he's here. And the reason why that is because, like, despite having all the money in the world, I don't really see how they're going to be able to mobilize that many Republican voters to go out and do that. Because one of the things that you notice with when Republicans take power, it isn't because Republicans came out in droves to vote for somebody. It's a little bit different with Donald Trump. But Republicans win because people on the left didn't vote. They got complacent or they got bored or whatever. I mean, you can even look, I think seen like a Republican memo that talked about like they bank on people not showing up to vote so that they just kind of win by default. So I don't really see it being as big of an issue just because of the technical like aspects of accomplishing that. You know what I mean? Like they could put all the money in that they want and do all this shit, but it's like it could make a small dent, but I just don't see them, especially in such a short period of time, getting enough turnout and mobilizing enough people for it to be an effort. But it is concerning because this is a new tactic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that maybe this election it won't be a big swinger, but if they see good enough results in a short amount of time, it could go on in future elections. I've been saying
this for years. That's smart to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But on the same subject of this Republican shit, it's kind of spooky that they're not even having a primary.
Yeah, they're canceling their shit.
Is it nationwide? They're not?
Just in certain states. It's up to the state parties to do it, I'm pretty sure. It's not like a...
That is weird to me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary.
Well, it's supposed to show, in their opinion, from what I've read, is like it's supposed to show solidarity with Trump and him as the leader of the party.
I understand that. I understand the political implications of it. But if you just like step back and take an objective view at it, you know, when has this ever
been done before though, right? It doesn't. If it was something brand new, I feel like I would hear more how it's brand new, but
it just seems really odd to me, man. And almost like scary in a way. Like I mean, do we know that, like, say since from the year 95 or something, the Republican Party has morphed into something fundamentally different? And I'm not trying to say the Democrats aren't bad. We know all their bullshit.
I mean, the Democrats are, at this point, are what the Republican Party should be in a sane fucking country.
Yeah, but the Republican Party really has morphed into something that's scary. Like, with the fucking evangelicals.
Well, even look with climate change, dude. Like, Bush, I've literally, God, I wish I had the video. It, like, shows how they talked about it at first. And then when the think tanks started coming in to spin it, like, to make people against climate change, like the idea of it, the rhetoric changed, all this different shit.
Yeah.
It's freaky. Because even Bush was like, yeah, the science is with us on climate change. And then, like, you can tell the think tanks were like, no, we got to switch.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And then the whole Republican Party just started sounding different on it.
Yeah.
And now it is what it is today, where people.
And then there was the Tea Party movement, which, like, pushed it even farther right.
Yeah.
It's just really morphed into this, like, crazy machine that is honestly, and I'm not going to sit here, we see so many comparisons of like Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler and the Republican Party and the Nazis, but like to me it's like the closest parallel that I can think of. You know what I mean? Like, it's becoming this different sort of political entity than just a democratically chosen political party.
At how Mitch McConnell operates, like, just won't even look at bills that go to his desk, won't sign them. Just like,
that's what I mean, man. You take all these different pieces of the way that they do business, and it just kind of, you know, it's spooky, man. It's spooky.
If they could get away with it, they would take full control undemocratically. You know they would.
Yeah, man, and that's what I'm saying. And like, operate under like a corporate theocracy, like, yeah. Just a. And if you just, like I said, step back and take a look at it, man, it's just, what the fuck? How did we get here? And how do we go back? You know, but you can't. The ball's already moved forward. The only real hope of shutting this down is, you know, Bernie and the movement taking place to a point where saner heads prevail.
There's got to be a movement within the whole right-wing mindset, too, of getting people like Ron Paul in charge of the party and not fucking...
So, yeah, we saw the Tea Party people, which were, I mean, would you call the Tea Party people libertarians, or were they something different? Like, they were like...
Well, dude, they started out as just, they want less government and shit, but then it got co-opted by the Koch brothers and turned into this, they flooded all this money into it, and then it's just a bunch of...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But on the flip side, you see...
Trump-like people at this point, it's just the...
Just real wild.
Pro-America, pro-gun, anti-abortion people.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That's fundamentally different. That's like a very theocratic, like, ideologue sort of vein, right?
It's definitely not. I think Ron Paul, see, I'm not as... in the know of the Tea Party shit as I probably should be, but I think Ron Paul was kind of like
simmered out
involved in the beginning.
Yeah.
Of the Tea Party, but it just turned into something way.
Well, I remember seeing it and being interested in it when I was younger. But the point I'm trying to get at is I think libertarians are fundamentally different than that. And we've talked about this before, but I think if the libertarian movement could really catch on, and not that I agree with them, I do on some stuff, but I think the libertarian arm, to a degree, is the saner vein of conservatism in this country. And it's my hope that, because they're fed up with the Republican establishment, just like we're fed up with and it's my hope that in the coming years they're able to form an actual coalition like we have around Bernie, but they don't have a person like we have with Bernie.
No, a lot of the Tea Partiers are like, they made the Republican Party into what it is now, just worse. They want it to be more theocratic, more corporate,
authoritarian, like
at least the ones that seem to get power. I'm sure like an actual Tea Party movement, they have like goals that are more reasonable sounding.
They're outright fascists, like in everything but the name.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're just and it's crazy, man. But I kind of want to transition to something else here. That article that was sent around, I've seen it on a bunch of different like Bernie pages and stuff, and you sent it to me too. The headline of the article was, "It's time for the elites to have a bigger say in who becomes president."
Yeah, and that shows Pete Buttigieg like waving.
Yeah, and
they had to change the title of it.
Yeah, who the fuck allowed that to be the title? Like, they know the outrage against that sort of thinking. It's almost like someone
saw the article and was like, I'm going to name it this, because that's essentially what you're saying should happen.
Almost like somebody good within was, like, trolling it.
Yeah.
The editor was like...
Because I can't see... Because you got to be so stupid to write that with, like, this... You know what I mean? Like, ego...
They're going to love it.
Elitist attitude. I don't know. Very weird.
Yeah, they ended up changing it to, quote-unquote, "It's time to switch to preference primaries."
Yeah, which is definitely a more normal-sounding article.
Yeah, that doesn't... That almost... I read that, I'm like, okay.
That lets the weirdness of what they're asking for go under the radar.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You guys are so good at doublespeak. You've been doing it for 100 years, and then... Well, this is just funny because that first title is like, it's almost like you said, like somebody trolled it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is how everything would appear if they were incapable of doublespeak. If they just like were forced somehow to tell the truth. Like how stupid their shit would look, you know?
Yeah.
But I read a quote from out of there. I was just kind of browsing through it a little bit. And essentially this is what that article was calling for. Elected delegates who understand the priorities of their constituents can bargain without being bound to a specific candidate, might actually produce nominees that better reflect what voters want. So there's the doublespeak that I wanted to see in the title.
Yeah.
What happened at the beginning, guys? I don't understand. Because that like, dude, that's exactly, I mean, dude, if we vote in a primary and I vote for Bernie Sanders and I get delegates...
Well, it's like all the candidates last night, only Bernie said that the person with the popular vote should win.
Yeah, and
all the other ones were like...
that's what voters want. We don't need to be...
Literally everyone else had the same response. Let the process play out at the convention.
Because they
Bernie
know.
Literally goes, that process also includes 500-something superdelegates on the second round of voting. So, and like, broke down how it's bad. Well, he's the only one willing to fucking call it out.
And that's what I'm saying with this article. It's like people... We don't need... What do you mean? We don't need some bureaucrat dude, insider, to choose what we want. We know what we want. That's why we went to the election. If we didn't know what we want, we'd just not vote.
Behind the scenes, Warren has probably been buttering up superdelegates and has a certain amount of them.
Yeah.
I'm sure Amy Klobuchar has some.
Do you think any of them are going to be for Bernie? I don't remember how it was in 2016.
Maybe a few, but no. These people are party elites.
Yeah.
Or like, dude, some of them were even like corporate oil lobbyists, like bankers and shit. They're not even like elected officials, some of these people. It's fucked up.
Yeah, man. And dude, it really is wild to me. Like that, I was just talking before the podcast, like the fact that they all renounced democracy on national television.
Yeah.
And then you compare that to like all the shit we were just talking about the Republicans. What the fuck are we living in? Is this real? I don't think it's fucking real. I'm like expecting to wake up any second now and be like, damn, I need to start getting involved in my country before it gets that bad and everything's still kind of normal. You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's fucking insane, man. And Warren, she came out with like a little
vote blue no matter who.
Well, of course, that's the fucking slogan, isn't it? But somebody, I think, interviewed her and saying like, why would you allow for the superdelegates and this and that? Mm-hmm. And she said, we need to pick a nominee who can defeat Donald Trump. And that means we got to have someone who is talking to all parts of the party. It's important. What the fuck does that mean, all parts of the party? Does that mean the big money boys that run the bitch?
And the oil
is that
tycoons.
the all parts of the party? It's important?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't you know that?
Yeah, fuck those guys. What? I mean, dude, Bernie's talking to all the parts of the party. The parts of the party are, you know, Rust Belt workers, black people, Mexican people, all the minorities, LGBTQ. Those are the parts of the party.
20 minutes in the debate last night attacking Bernie Sanders supporters.
Oh, yeah. On the tweets and shit.
You'll definitely have us in the general, you fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're the base of the party. We're the young people. We're the progressive base.
Yeah.
That are going to be required for the general to win because we're going to be the ones that actually get up to go out door knocking and shit.
Yeah, you think
and you're saying that we're toxic. You're essentially calling us deplorables like Clinton called Trump supporters.
Yeah.
It's...
Well, dude, and that's the big thing that they, you know, Bloomberg came out swinging with, and obviously everybody else tried to jump on board, is that, and that people in our local party have come at me for, you know, we've talked about Randy before, and nice dude, whatever, but at our caucus, he was like, afterwards and everything, and he likes me, right, and he's like, I just want to say something without you getting upset, and he said, you did really well for a Bernie supporter. And I mean, I didn't like chastise him and shit. I'm like, but I had a moment with him. I'm like, look, man, you hear about all this toxic shit that's going on and like it's hyped up in the media, but like Randy, I assure you, man, most Bernie people, we might have a little bit of cynicism and humor. You gotta understand, this is joking around on the internet, and I know that's hard to understand. This is our vein of humor. But the movement that I'm passionate about and that most Bernie people are passionate about is about love and compassion and doing what's right for the country.
They think we're assholes and scumbags for bringing up facts about other candidates that aren't good for the candidates.
Well, dude,
for vetting candidates, we're assholes.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they got pissed... Okay, look, if they were, like, pissed about the, like... And we know they're joking. But I could see older people don't get it. The fucking, like, Marxist memes and, like, Bernie with the gun. Yeah. If they were getting, like, just pissed about that... I'd be like, okay, a little bit. I'd understand. I'd be like, I could see why you just don't get it, and it's to you think it's serious. Okay, like sure.
Yeah.
But like you just said, they're not just bitching about that. They're bitching about like we don't need to pick apart all the different candidates.
Dude, they want a false sense of unification in the party. Dude, you're not going to get it by trying to force it. We get unified with actual debate and getting a good candidate up there that isn't corrupted.
Yeah, and you remember this time last year when I think Hillary was still like, she was like, at this point, I think she was a little bit in the lead, right? Like a few points lead because Bernie had to build this shit from the ground up, right?
I think she had a massive lead already because of the superdelegates. They were adding them right away.
Well, just I'm saying in national polls, right? She was leading by a little bit. And all the establishment moderate people were like, we just need to... Already, like we just need to fall in line and go for the candidate that's most popular. Where the fuck is that now?
Well,
I just hear fucking crickets,
if
bro.
If it was Biden with the 6,000 more votes in Iowa in the win in New Hampshire, the race would be over. Biden's the presumptive nominee.
Yeah,
that's the narrative that it would be.
So why aren't we falling in line behind Bernie Sanders now that he is won New Hampshire?
Because if you combine every other candidate down, Bernie's losing. Dude, there was literally a title of an article saying that if Bernie wins Nevada, it's a bad look for him.
Yeah, I saw that one. What does that mean?
Dude, what they're trying to do is they see the polls, they see that Bernie's probably going to win Nevada. It's a preemptive way of downplaying his win.
Yeah. God, man.
Dude, and I've even heard them try to say Biden doesn't even need to win South Carolina. He just needs to come in second or third. Dude, if Biden doesn't get a double-digit win in South Carolina, he's fucking done. Quit trying. Dude, and I get so sick of... They still try to act like he was once the front runner. Biden was never the front runner.
Yeah, never.
Like, dude, I'm going to say it, conspiracy theory or not, I don't even believe half these polls they show us are real, dude. They could just be making that shit up.
Yeah.
I think when it comes crunch time, right before an election, we start seeing real numbers. But I don't buy half these polls.
Going in weeks ahead.
I really don't buy half these polls. And you know, in some of the polls, they oversample older people, which automatically, in my opinion, cancels out the poll if you're oversampling people.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Well, you know, and this is a little off topic, but I just started thinking again about Bloomberg and about like some of these memes that I've seen about him, and one of them was like, it had like some quote of something fucking monstrous he said, right? And then it was like, this just goes to show that if Donald Trump would have been Democrat, you would be wearing a MAGA hat right now. And I kind of want to see if I can find this in here, because, you know, we've talked about Bloomberg a lot, but that's kind of like the center stage of what's going on in the news right now. The guy was a Republican, and he like still is, man. And I wanted to like just play this little snippet of, you got Democrats voting for this guy, and it just goes to show what you said. The Democrats have pretty much just become like what the Republican Party should be, right?
Well, in a good question I have right before you play that.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot of these Trump supporters would have came and voted Democrat for Trump? Or do you think they only voted because he's Republican?
That is a fucking big question, man. I don't know. Obviously, there's a huge, probably the majority that just voted for him because he was Republican. But
I just remember seeing all these fired up people for Trump, and I just wonder, was it because he's a Republican nominee, or would they have been the exact same?
I think it is a little bit of a cult of personality, because here's the thing. So many people came out to vote for him, and all the discussions I've had where people were like, I'll either vote for Bernie or I'll vote for Trump.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, man, I don't know. And here's the thing.
Would have been a completely different race for him.
It would have been way different, because here's the thing. A lot of the stuff that the media came out with him about like grabbing by the pussy and locker room talk and getting peed on by Russians, blah, 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 blah. All that shit, if he would have been running Democrat, and it wouldn't have came out.
Can you think about how crazy that is for a second, too, that a sitting president... The media released with no proof at all that there was a tape of him getting peed on by like Russian hookers in Russia.
Oh my
no
God,
proof
dude.
at all, dude. It's a sitting president.
Dude, I just imagine
crazy.
Imagine there is like actually audio of that, and you just hear like Russian babes like, no, she's maybe denied or whatever, and then you just hear like
Trump's
fucking
like, get it in my hair.
And then you just hear like the stream.
Oh, tremendous.
You just hear the like. And then more fucking Russian. He's like, oh, jeez, you know, just fucking.
She's like, strong pneumonia smell, strong pneumonia.
Yeah. And then he's like, Tatiana, that was great, but next time don't drink any water before you come in.
Yeah. He's like, so diluted.
It's fine, but it could have been a lot better. Oh, man. And yeah, that is just wild to think about. What fucking... And, you know, this is just comes back to one of the main themes of this whole conversation we've been having about, like, how crazy the Republican Party has gotten and how the Democrats are pretty much the Republican Party now. And we had a moment when this was when he first took office, where the president was accused of being peed on by Russian prostitutes.
And I will say this.
Well, hang on, though, dude.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
What the fuck is going on?
Well, I will say...
Is this real?
It helps with the narrative, though, that big shit's against him, because that's easily like a CIA planted story with no facts to prove it. It kind of helps Trump, I think, in a way, because people are like, wow, that's bullshit. They got nothing to back it up.
Yeah.
Like, you don't report that unless you can show us the tape, in my opinion. You don't make that a big story. That's like tabloid
There
story.
is the other side of it where, you know, these corporate media organizations have gotten so money hungry and so focused on views that even if it isn't a planted story, they'd run it because they know people are going to be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
It's just not good.
If I wanted
it's not
to
good
be,
for the country.
If I wanted to be a little less conspiratorial. And I guess, honestly, in your opinion, what do we do to make fucking journalism and reporting and shit less fucked?
Well,
like,
you got to
what do we
overturn
do?
that. What was that called? What was the act in 1996?
1996 Telecommunications
We got to
Act.
somehow overturn that. But
That was the one that allowed
man.
conglomeration, right?
I really don't know.
Obviously, the first step would be to break up
We need more discussion about it, and it needs to be in the zeitgeist of the American psyche that we need to do something about it before anything's going to get done.
That's
I think
true.
there's too much trust in the media by too many people still.
That's true.
And now you got Trump saying it's all fake news because of any criticism of him.
Yeah.
So now if you criticize the media, you're
then
just
you're
being
made
like
to be
Trump.
a crazy.
Yeah.
And that's, man, they really, that works out really good, don't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think the first thing, obviously, and I think all of our listeners can agree, is breaking up the telecommunications monopoly.
Not let fucking Times Warner merge with who they'd fucking merge with. They merged with some AT&T. Yeah.
I think that's the first step. But then, that's only going to get you so far, because then we still have the issue of clickbait. Just the modern culture's changed, man. And
that's a whole different subject. But I think
it is related,
as far as these massive corporations owning all the media and the newspapers and even the local media.
Yeah.
Something's got to change there. What we do, though, I don't know.
Yeah, well, and it's
once something's
crazy
done,
because
it's hard to undo, dude.
Yeah, it is. But something can be done. We've reversed things in the past. I mean, But like I said, that's just one aspect of it. It's like, how do we, because of the nature of clickbait and stuff, this all intertwines. How do we make it so that actual do we have to subsidize journalism and independent media and small newspapers? I would hate to have to go that route to throw money at the problem, but I don't know what else to...
the news
publicly funded?
The news never used to be about making money for these corporations. It was just they did it for the public good, from what I understand. It wasn't it wasn't about income like it is now. We need to somehow make it first off, we need to somehow ban the ads. Notice the ads of the Democratic debate last night. What were the ads? One, because I was listening to it, one was an anti-Medicare for all ad.
Was it really?
One was a big farm ad. Then there was an oil, it was all ads from the scumbags that they're Bernie's talking against. It's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because it's almost and these people know, they know they're buying ad space for this time, and these giant corporations, it's almost like it's almost like them being remember who runs this shit.
No, that's the thing. I don't think they buy these. I don't think they necessarily buy these ads to win minds over by people watching the ads. They buy the ads to have control and sway over that news station. They're the ones. Right. They're probably overpaying. They're probably overpaying on the ads. Mm-hmm. So then they just have sway with the people in charge.
Yeah, we'll pay you these big bucks, and you.
Yeah, I don't think it's really about people seeing the ads and shit. It's just more
no, definitely not, because you always see ads for Siemens, which is a huge ass company that I'm not even sure what they do, but they're one of those big conglomerates like DuPont or Unilever, and you see ads and it's ads of building America and this and that, and it's Siemens, the way forward. Yeah. And you're what am I buying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, and you're right, it is more about having control of the media and stuff, but when I see them, this is the image I get, is just this is them reminding us you can have your talks, but just remember who actually runs the show.
Yep. It's fucked up.
And it's fucking spine chilling a little bit, man. But anyway, I did want to play this thing of Bloomberg, and not just because it's another way of shitting on Bloomberg. This little video that I'm going to play the audio for is him advocating for cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And the bigger point I want to make with this isn't just about him. It's about there are other establishment Democrats that have the same sort of conversations. And it just goes back to show that the Democratic Party is no longer leftist. They're not even liberal hardly anymore. So when you're going into this, just think about this. There is more Democrats that talk like this than just Michael Bloomberg.
And really, are they right wing or I've tried telling, because I know Trump supporters and they don't like the Republican Party either. It's not really that they're right wing; it's that they're just it's a corporatocracy, and I don't know if that's really right wing. It's this whole new.
Well, it's right wing, in that all the pieces are finally coming together in the 21st century to form a fascist state in the United States of America, and a fascist state is inherently right wing. It's a fusion of corporation and state. So yes,
Hitler was a socialist.
Yeah. National socialist.
No, he was a socialist.
National
he was a lefty socialist.
No.
Totalitarian communist.
Yeah. People that espouse that, and it's meanwhile...
Dude, most of them know they're fucking talking out of their ass.
You imagine
they just want to always
how great of a time period that would have been to be a businessman in either Germany or, Greater Deutschland? Okay, because not only are you going to get subsidized by the government, and you're not only getting huge contracts for building the machinery and weapons of empire, And then they started rounding up the Jews, and now you got free labor too, boy.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
I didn't even think about that aspect.
I would love to see the profit margin from the years up until the war really took off. Man, and you just imagine, can you imagine like in this growing like sphere of Nazi Germany and like the upper echelon of people and the parties and even the businessmen are like wearing the swastika, and it's just like, can you imagine being in the 1930s, like the big German buildings and their skyscrapers and just the parties.
Can you imagine how big of
ruling elite
douchebags the
stuff.
people with the red bands were when they first started?
Oh, yeah.
You know they were the belligerent asshole douchebags.
Well, dude, I see some scary shit going on in America when you see some of these Trump people going around in their trucks and they're flying like full on, flags that size off the back. And you're almost like, this is still a long ways away, but...
Dude, and how often do you see someone with the MAGA hat on that isn't looking for some trouble, like a little bit? Like, you can just see it on their face, like they're ready for someone to talk shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're not wearing it, like, all happy and nice.
And they believe...
There's a reason they're wearing that hat. Like,
they want somebody to come at them.
confrontation.
Yeah, I just...
fucking weird.
I just saw a lady with one at Target. And, like, dude, it was weird. So I went around the corner, and at the same time, two other people, like, were one from this way and one down... And we all saw it at the same time, and we all like looked at each other, and then left the aisle. I'm not even kidding, dude. Because we're just like, I don't want to be. I don't want to be around this person.
They have an aura they eject, like an energy. I mean,
Yeah.
You just feel it's negative, dude.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but.
But anyway, yeah, I just want to play this for people because this is just and I've been trying to get into it for a while, but this is just a good example of the double speak and the way that they try to. There's Democrats that support this too, and it's just the way that they sell it to the American people. Meanwhile, we're going to steal your retirement, we're going to steal your health care benefits. So take a listen to this, guys.
Rather than this sequestering thing, which would devastate defense, there is a ways to slowly decrease the benefits or raise the eligibility age for Medicare and for Social Security. There's a ways to have more copay on Medicaid, which will do two things. One, the users of the service will pay a little more, but two, they'll be
pay a little more
twice before they use services. So the services they use will be those that are really needed and not stuff that would be nice to have. Now let's talk about
stuff.
Oh damn! Bernie cut that into an ad.
Oh, did he?
And then he plays him like standing for shit.
So many of the things in there, stuff that would be, they'll think before they use it.
Yeah, well, it's a very like sociopathic, calculative way to look at shit.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I see why he's a billionaire. He just thinks the things in numbers. He doesn't think of like.
Yeah, exactly. There is no human connection there.
Dude, you can tell he does not feel emotion.
And
the debate last night, like,
Joe Biden has said similar shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton has said similar shit.
One last thing, dude. I think the most glorious thing of all is to just see Biden tank. Like, he's not even like part of the conversation anymore. Last night he just literally looked like one of the
like a beat
top
dog,
low tier candidates.
Oh really?
And
He's putting out that vibe.
Like 20 different situations Biden had to be like, I'm the only one that actually worked on a law like this, or he's like, I'm the only one that ever met the president of Mexico.
Trying to bring the energy.
Yeah, and Biden said he's met this president of Mexico.
No, you haven't.
I feel like he hasn't, dude.
No,
Isn't this guy brand new?
It's like a year or two.
He said he met with this guy, and I'm like, I don't think you've even met with this guy, man. Like, if you did, you weren't vice president.
Well, you know what? Maybe he didn't even mean to like say this president, but still, no.
He said it like 5 times, dude.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know why I'm trying to defend Joe Biden anyway. I almost just feel bad for him, though, man.
You know what I know? So you don't like to see the bad side of things very easily.
Yeah,
you always will defend bullshit until it's like blatant.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not like you're doing it in a bad way. You just don't want to, like...
Dude, it's a coping mechanism of mine because life has been tough, so I always try to look on the bright side and the positive side. But I'm still a realist. And when shit, like, comes into my... When it's right there, I'm finally like, okay.
I got to throw you under the bus here. When we went to North Dakota, we went through the military roadblock in the middle of North Dakota.
I know.
And they gave us... Their reasoning for why they had this roadblock was because some cattle got loose.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, this is an intense military roadblock. Like, when I'm going through, they're like a brown Honda Civic coming through.
Yeah.
And the way you go through is you go like straight, and then you go like up. There's a wall, boom, boom, like for bombs and shit. And we're going through it, and then later's like, Dylan's like, yeah, they probably were just there for the cattle. And I'm just like,
yeah,
you like did not want to realize that we just saw some authoritarian police state shit.
And that's the thing is like, I knew You know what I mean? But I'm like, in the horror movie when the guy's like, maybe it's not a ghost.
Yeah. Well, it makes more
or a
sense.
demon.
Big ass protests against giant oil corporations where all these Native Americans are and like activists. That for the roadblock.
Yeah.
Or some buffalo got loose in the middle of the country.
The thing is with that moment, I am kind of glad you brought it up because that was like, I knew all the stuff. I'd been for Bernie for a while, but that was the first time I really like saw it. Face to face.
That's how you see how fucked things can get fast if they want to.
Yeah, and I think it scared me a little bit, and I tried to like shut it down in my head because that was the first time I realized like, oh, we do live in a fucking fascist empire.
Yeah,
and it was just looking me in the face. You know what I mean? And it was a lot, and it took me some time to process it. So I put up some defense mechanisms.
I don't like talking like this, but you know that if those soldiers were commanded to gun us down, maybe a couple of them out of a whole squadron would be like, this is fucked up. But most of them would probably follow orders like they were just told to do. Because if they don't follow the order, they're going to get reprimanded, maybe shot in the head themselves if it was a fascist, like, I don't know. Like,
you know what I could see, like, in the worst case scenario where we say there is, like, a revolution and an uprising, and then that subsequently creates a civil war and shit, where it's, like, the authoritarian government fighting against well-armed and organized guerrillas. Mm-hmm. And this is all speculative. But
where did we get the gorillas? The rainforest, Amazon?
Gorillas.
I know, I'm just
with a UE. Yeah. Anyway, God, that was a lame-ass joke. I'm sorry, dude. But all right. But I could see a moment where, a lot of people in the military, when it first starts, that happens. But I could see this epic moment that's like a tide-changing moment in the war. Hang on, where company after company, squad after squad, platoon after platoon, regiment after regiment, it puts their guns down and is like, no, or defects over to the guerrilla side.
Oh, yeah, and there's good generals, too. Like, I don't think every general is a corrupt piece of shit involved in deep state stuff.
No.
Like, I just think it's, I don't know. Who knows? It's more complicated. It's a bureaucracy than upper military echelons are just like a whole government itself, really.
Yeah, it is wild, man. That's one of the things I always kind of like regretted in my life as I thought about going to the military for a while. But I was like too young to understand what it meant. But like sometimes I think if I could go back, I would have loved to.
Could you be an officer now since you have your college?
No, I have to do more.
Really?
Yeah, and then you have to do a whole. But that's what if I would have had my choice, I would have done like NROTC and like gone in and been like a lieutenant or something. Yeah. And tried to work. Something about that just like really is attractive to me. Like despite, I'm a walking contradiction, man. Because I'm all Rage Against the Machine, anarchy, leather jackets, and spiky hair. But then there's the other part of me that is really attracted to like the uniform and the structure and the discipline and like the patriotism and.
Yeah.
I would have been all for that, but it's weird. At the same moment when I was thinking about joining the military, I also had the realization of like these wars are wrong, and it's not what I thought it was.
Have I ever said my military experience on one of these podcasts? I don't think I have. Maybe I have.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I went to a recruiter. I was all gun ho. I wanted to join the Navy, but we didn't have a Navy recruitment office, and the Army guy was gonna have me take my ASVAB or whatever the fuck they call it. They have you look through this giant book of jobs. And I looked through it for a long time, and one was like a journalistic job, one was like an intelligence thing, and something else. I can't remember the third one. But he looks at me like kind of perplexed and was like, I'm not used to kids bringing that type of stuff up. I'll have to look into those for you. I'm used to kids your age just coming in and saying they want to kill people and blow shit up.
Yeah, man.
And I was like, that's the last thing I want to do. And then I just never went back. And he would call me all the fucking time. He showed up at my apartment once. Mm-hmm. Like one time I had been drinking and he called me and I answered and I just like went in how he shouldn't have said that shit. Like I didn't swear, but he shouldn't have said that. Like that's the exact opposite of what I want to do. And was like, man, like you're the reason I'm not joining, essentially.
Oh.
He was just like really quiet and then we hung up and then he never called me again. So I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, man. When I was thinking about joining, I wanted to do like a war correspondent thing. And I was like, at the time, I was young and impressionable, and I was really, enamored with the idea of like the Marine Corps, and I didn't want to do anything else. It was either that or nothing. Mm-hmm. But then is that war correspondent position is like they're like you're gonna there's like no chance you're gonna get that, because you have to do like so well in school, and you have to do all this shit, and then it's still like you're gonna have to do something else, and hopefully that position will open up.
Yeah.
So the paths we take in life, man, it's crazy. So, but anyway, I think that's a pretty good spot to round this off. As always, guys, super happy to be hanging out with you. Thanks for coming to watch the show. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, help us grow, like, share, bang the bell, tell your fucking friends, follow us on all the different social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. If you really want to help support the podcast, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/double_D. Poetry, flash fiction, full-length short stories, all about working class struggles, addiction, all of it is just very much fuck the man, fuck the system stuff. So if you're a fan of the show, I do feel like you'll find at least one or two things on there that'll be up your alley if you want to come check it out. A lot of free stuff on there too. To further support the podcast, check out our sponsor, Bingley's Teas at janeaustenteas.com. There you can find high-end teas handpicked and mixed by the lovely Miss Julia. Or visit Julia in person at 118 East 26th Street, suite number 208, to be taken on a tea tour of the world and to satisfy that deep tea addiction. All right, guys, this has been the Entitled Millennials, episode number 25. We'll see you next week. Take it easy. Bye.